So today we are covering search between true date in LWC. It's a very important topic. In last session, we not covering how to search between two date. In this lesson, we will create two input field, start date and end date. Both input field data type will be date. This is a date. This is a date data type input field. This is also a date type input field. So we create two input field. Data type will be date, and whenever search on this button. So below this input field, I created a button. Whenever I click on the button, the below this button, I will create a table. So here I will use loop. So list of the search record will display below inside the table. Okay. Here I am searching list of the contact record. So here you can see I selected 1st April to 15 April. So between the two date, once click on the button, search result will display inside the table here. So this scenario will cover in the LWC component by today. So Deborah, I got it. Why I'm covering by today?
This one, what about this table, sir? I didn't get that one.
Yeah, this is a table. This is a normal HTML table. This is a heading of the table: first name, last name, email, and phone. These are the field of the contact. And these are the data that I am searching between two input with field. So these are the static. This is a field name. These are the data that I am searching from two input field. So this is a start date and end date. When I select a start date and end date, click on the button. Between the two date, the data will search and display inside the table. So this scenario I will cover by today in LWC. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let me go on the Visual Studio Code. Now let's write a lab demo project. So first we need to create a component. In the component, first there is a title. This is a title. This is a input field and button. And below the button, I will create a table. So first let me create a component. Lightning card. Title. Title that means this one. Search between two date in LWC. Search between two date in LWC. So lightning card, I define title. Then I'm creating a div class SLDS P around medium. Then div class equal to SLDS call SLDS size 6 of 12. Then inside this div, I will create a lightning input field. So here we need to give a space between two input field. So use SLDS P horizontal. It will give a space between two input field horizontally. Medium SLDS P bottom. That means padding bottom. Medium. Use single, not double. So single underscore using, and inside this div I am creating a this one start date input field. lightning input, this one, and data type will be date, type equal to date. Then label will be this one, start date. And name start date. And I will get the current value. So I will pass a function on change, handle change. So based on this function, I will get the current value of the input field. So first input field completed. Now copy this div, paste here, and this input field for in date. In date, change the name in date. So name will be unique, not same. And handle change function, I am passing same, both of input field. Now I created two input field. The below of the input field, I am creating a button. It is a search. So here, this is a div. After this div, here we need to create a wrap. Here, inside this div. So create div class equal to SLDS grid SLDS wrap. This div will close here. Okay. So inside this wrap, I am creating two input field, and after this div, I am creating another one div for button. Div, I want to display button middle of the component. So this button display middle of the component. So how to display middle of the component? Use class equal to SLDS text align center. Then use lightning button label. This one equal to label will be search and variant that means blue color. If you defining brand, it will display automatically blue. And once click on the button, so here I am passing function on click search action. This is a function. Once click on the search action, this is once click on the button, search action will execute and will be search data between two input field. Now let me save and deploy the component to the Salesforce org. Okay, my component deploy successfully. Now let me go Salesforce, refresh. So this is my lightning training app. So here I will display my component. So let me refresh and edit the page. Go to gear icon, edit the page and copy the file name. So my file name is training search to input field. So rename and copy the file name so that we can easily search this file name here. So here I am searching my component name training search input field. This is my component. Select, drag and drop here. Okay. Now save. This is a save button. Save then go back. And you can see this is a data type date. So date box automatically open. Okay. But when I searching any of the date between two input field, it will not work without writing a function. So second part is I completed first part. Second part, I need display table below this button. So now let me create a table. Deborah got it? How I creating a button, input field, form.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me create a table. This one. So once select two input field value, the data display inside the table here. So now let me create table. Table display below the search button. So where is my search button? This is my search button. This is a around, P around medium. So here, this is a search button. Here, I will give a space, that means BR, and let me give to us BR, and here I will create table, class, SLDS, table, SLDS, table, bordered, SLDS, table, call, border. So this is a class for the table, and first I will define table of head. Table of head matlab this one. First name, last name, email, and phone. So use tr and th. th मतलब table of head. First name, then copy, and this is a column for first name, last name, email, and phone. So this is a first row. First row, that means this is a heading part. Now create for body part. So create another one row, tr, and here pass td. Keep in mind the th and the first row and second row column will be same. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. There are four columns. So in the tr, the next column will be same. Number of column will be same. So now here I am passing as a dummy data because once I created a class controller, data will fetch dynamically. Okay. So first I am creating a table structure. Now let me save and deploy the code. So now let me refresh. So here you can see first name, last name, email, phone, data display also, but data display as a dummy because still I not created a method in JavaScript. So first I created a component and structure. So here you can see first name, last name, email, phone, table of here display normal, not display bold. So here displaying bold like this. So if you want to display as a bold heading, use strong. If you want, if you want to use CSS, so it will work both both will be work same. Like if you want to display as a bold, use a style equal to font weight bold. It will work both. If you're using a tag strong as a tag element, and you can use a CSS. You can check how does work it. You can see both working same. Here I am putting element, here I am putting CSS. So as per your desire, you can use CSS and you can use element. So now I am putting a style CSS. It will display as a bold. Okay, Deborah, got it? How I am putting bold.
Yes.
Okay, you can use as a element. Here you can use CSS. Both will work same. Now let me create a method of controller. How to fetch list of the contact record once click on the button. So 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 now let's move on the Apex Class controller. This is Apex Class controller. Yesterday we covered how to create account with three contexts. Today we are covering how to search between two input field date. So below this method, I am starting a new method, search between two date in LWC. Okay. So now let's create a function. First start or I enable this one. Okay. Then public static. Here I am retrieving list of the contact. List of contact. Search to date field. This is the name of the method. Search to date field. Search to date. Okay. This is the name of the method. And here will pass two parameter. Both parameter as a data type date. Start date. In date. So based on the start date or end date, I will fetch the list of the contact record. Here I am passing two parameter and simply as a best practice use try and catch. Try and catch. Catch will be same for each and every method. This is a try and catch. And inside that try, I will write a SQL query. So let's write a SQL query for the list of the contact. Kono biji list. Okay. Select ID, first name, last name, email, phone, from, contact, where you can put based on the created date. created date. So based on the created date of record, we will be search data. So first name, last name, email, phone, created date. Created date, that means the record that is created. Created date from contact where? Created date should be greater than equal to start date. If created date greater than a start date and created date less than colon in date. That means it will search between if created date greater than start date and created date less than end date. So between two start date and end date, it will fetch the data and return. So after this query, here I am returning list of the this one, cone object list. Return this one. Okay. Deborah got it. How I am searching between two input field date.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because in the parameter I passing a start date and end date. So this is a dynamically value I will pass from component. So this variable I will pass in the LWC JavaScript and pass the value dynamically. So this variable here I am passing created date greater than a start date and created date end date. So between two date I will search and return here. Now let me save and deploy the code. Okay. So my code deploy successfully. Now let me copy this method and go to JavaScript. First import this method. Import this one from process will same @Salesforce Apex name of the controller. This is the name of the controller training LWC controller 2 dot name of the method that I created right now search to date. This is my method. So first I imported the method from Apex controller. Now I want to store that data that is retrieving from method. So here you can see I created two input field. Each and every input field I passing a function handle change. So copy this function, create a first let me comment this one so that we can easily identify this function start from here. So let me create a function event and here you can use variable input name equal to event dot target dot value. So if you getting the name event dot target dot name, if you getting value event dot target dot value. So here I am getting name. Name that means here I am getting this one name attributes. So event dot target dot name. Simply now let me create another one variable input value equal to event dot target dot value. It will return current value of input field. It will return name of the input field. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now here I will check condition if this input name equal to this one start date. First I am checking for a start date. Start date this one. Then I will store the current input value into this variable. So let me create a variable. Let me create two variable. First variable for the start date, second variable for the end date. Start date, end date. Okay, and I will store the value here. So this is a variable. So start from this dot equal to input value, this one. Okay, now copy this if condition, paste, and else if. Second time I will store the value for in date, this one, in date, in date, and value will store inside this variable in date. Okay, so now let me check this value storing or not. So let me check the debug console.log. Console.log input name, this one, plus input value equal to this one, this variable input value. Now let me save and deploy the code and check console.log. Its function working fine or not. So now my code deployed successfully. Now let's refresh. And now inspect. Go to console. Clear the console. Okay, I clear the console. Now let me select first date. Let me the start date. Let me search 15th July and end date. End date. Let me search 18. You can see input name display start date and end date. Both value display in the console. I selected 15/7 2016, this one, and this is a end date. So those of the value display in the console. That means my function working fine. So now let me comment this part. Now the second part is how to search. Let me create a new function for the click button. This is a button, search button. In the search button, this is a search action. So now let me create a search action. So this function will start from here, close here. So I am creating new function. So first I comment the part so that we can easily identify this function will start from here. Okay, search action. So once click on the button, I will store the data. So now let's create a variable track. Track. If you using a track variable, don't forget to add here track. Okay, otherwise it will display error. Track. Put the name of the variable. Contact data. Contact. You can use cone search data. Okay. So I will store the value inside this variable. So first I created a function, this one, search action. So inside the search section event, here I will call this method. This method search to date. This method I importing. Search to date. This is a method importing. This method I will call inside this click button function. This is a search action. This is a click button function, and here I passing this method, and inside this bracket I will pass parameter. So in this method there are two parameters: start date, end date. Okay, so copy this parameter start date colon, and start date I am storing value here. Start date, this one. This dot I am passing value, that is I am storing inside the variable. Similarly, copy this parameter in date colon, and here I will pass the value in date, this one. After that, apply, then and result arrow function, then guys error arrow function, and here inside this then I will store data. So I will store data here, call search data, this one. This dot console data equal to, I will store this one result, and in the catch part create a new variable like error message. This is a variable. So here I will store error in this variable. This dot error message equal to error dot body dot message. You can use console dot log. Custom error equal to this one. Okay, and we can check console dot log what is returning data. So console log what is returning from database. So we can use this one, and it return as an object. So I want to display inside the value of object. So copy this one and use JSON.stringify. Why? Because I want to display what is value inside the object. Okay. Now let me save and deploy the code. Yeah, code deploy successfully. Now let's go the page and refresh. Okay. Now inspect, go to console, clear console, and this time it will display actual data in the console, what I am searching. So now let's select, let's suppose searching I am from 1 to 21. Okay. Now let's click the button. It's not displaying. Now let's refresh once again. Maybe data not reflecting. So if you selecting, let's suppose I am selecting 1 to 15, 15, and let me click on the search. Here you can see data not coming because between to this range of the data, July 1st to 15, there is no record created inside my contact object. Now let's change. Now let's change, let's select 10 to 23. Okay. Now change the range of the date. Now click once again. Right, right now it is display blank. So that the table not displaying, but when click on the button once again, you can see data visible. So in this, between the two input field, record created in my Salesforce. So there are three record visible. You can see these are the first record, these are the second, and these are the third. So this data coming from the stringy file from here. So there are three record visible from stringy file in console, and here you can see output also displaying three record because this variable I am passing inside the HTML here. Here I am using for each and for item to display list of the contact record. So this is a variable there I am storing the data, this one result, and one by one here I am using first name, last name, email and phone. Here I am applying the for each and for item apply each and every row. And this if you using for each and for item, the key is a mandatory. So this is a process to display list of the contact record, list of the record into for loop and for item in LWC component. If you selecting another one record, let's suppose I am selecting 24. Let's suppose I am searching 2 to 24. Okay. Yeah. Now click once again. You can see record added. That means more record added. But if you select in another one, 1 to 15, if record not created between two input date, data will not display. You can see data not display because this is a blank. Between two input, between two date, record not created in Salesforce, so that there is no data display. Okay. You can review the code so that you can get how does work it.
Okay.
First, in the Lightning component, I created two input field, start date and end date. Both are the time, data type date. And this is a button. In the button, I passing the search action. When click on the button, I retrieving data and display inside this table. So if you using for each and for item, that means you want to display list of the record. Okay. So here I am displaying list of the contact record so that I am using for each and for item. And in the JavaScript, first I am importing the method, this method. So this method I created in the JavaScript. This method I can create it inside the application controller. This is my method, and in the parameter I passing start date and end date. And here you can see I write a SQL query for the list of the contact. Select first name, last name, email, phone, created date, and this is a parameter apply created date if greater than a start date. This one, and created date is less than equal to less than colon end date. That means it will be searched between greater than start date and less than end date. I returning the data here. So first I write a method, and this method I import in the JavaScript. This is my file. Search to date, and here you can see I created a start date, end date, error message. This is a variable. This is a track variable so that I can store the data. So I storing data inside this variable. So first I get in the current value. So You can see each and every input field. I am passing function handle change. Handle change. So based on this handle change, I am getting the current input field value and storing the value inside this variable. Okay. And once click on the button, search action passing outside the click button here. When click on the search button, first I call the method, this method that I am importing. And here, this is a parameter, this is a value that I am storing. This is a parameter start date, you can see. This is a parameter start date, in date. So, before the colon, this is a parameter. After the colon, this is a value I am passing. After that, I am passing then result and cone search data. This is a variable that I am storing the value. And here, if you want to check inside the data of object, so it's written as an object. So I want to display value inside the object. So that here I am using JSON.stringify in the console log. You can see this is my console log display returning data. And if any kind of error occur during the fetch data, it will display here. Okay. So in this lesson we learn how to fetch between two input field date and retrieve data and display into the HTML table here. If you change the date, if record created between two date in the org, it will automatically display. You can see. So Deborah got it.
Yes, sir.